Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday.
India has built the world's first portable disaster hospital that can be airlifted, packed in 72 cubes for survival for a period of 48 hours for 100 survivors. The Arogya Maitri cube can handle several severe injuries, including 40 bullet injuries, 25 major bleeds, and 25 major burns. The hospital becomes operational within an hour of arrival at the location. Indian Space Research Organization ISRO this week said that Chandrayaan 3 undertook a successful hop experiment where the Vikram lander elevated by about 40 centimeters as expected and landed safely at a distance of 30 to 40 centimeters away on the moon again. It said the objective of its mission have been fulfilled and now set into sleep mode. The payloads and the ramp of the lander were folded back in before performing the hop experiment. The hop test can also help in human missions as it confirmed ISRO's ability to kickstart the lander once again days after touching down on the lunar surface. The space agency said it was hoping for their Vikram and Pragyan's awakening around 22nd of this month. The United States government is reportedly investing $22 billion into developing clothes that can record video, audio, and geolocation data. The ready-to-wear clothes that are being developed include shirts, pants, socks, and underwear, all of which are intended to be washable. The Intercept reported, the Smart E-Pants program aims to make the clothes that feel, move, and function like any garment. Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov submitted his resignation on Monday this week. Reznikov's resignation came after President Vladimir Zelensky announced that he would replace him and named Rustem Umerov as the country's new defense ministry. Zelensky had made the announcement saying that the ministry needs new approaches and different formats of interaction both with military and society. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Indonesia to attend the 20th ASEAN-India Summit and the 18th East Asia Summit. The two summits were hosted in Jakarta by Indonesia, the current chair of ASEAN. The East Asia Summit will provide an opportunity for leaders of ASEAN countries and its 8 dialogue partners, including India, to exchange views on the issues of regional and global significance. Prime Minister Narendra Modi presented a 12-point proposal for strengthening India-ASEAN cooperation covering connectivity, digital transformation, trade and economic engagement. Addressing contemporary challenges, people-to-people contacts and deepening strategic engagement. He proposed for establishing multimodal connectivity and economic corridor that links Southeast Asia, India, West Asia and Europe. The Government of India today approved the Scheme for Viability Gap Funding (VGF) for development of Battery Energy Storage System (BESS). The scheme envisages the development of 4,000 megawatt-hour of BESS projects by 2030-31, with the financial support of up to 40% of the capital cost as budgetary support. This will not only enhance the integration of renewable energy into the electricity grid, but also minimize wastage while optimizing the utilization of transmission networks. Russian President Vladimir Putin has refused to restore the Black Sea grain deal. Under this deal, cargo ships would be allowed to travel from and to 3 Ukraine ports after inspection that they were not carrying arms. The deal expires July this year. He reiterated that the landmark deal allowing Ukraine to export grain safely across the Black Sea will be restored only after the West meets Moscow's demands on its agricultural exports. The remarks came after a meeting with the Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan in the Black Sea city of Sochi this week. Scientists at Israeli Weizmann Institute said they have created a complete model of human embryos without the involvement of sperm or egg from stem cells, cultured in the lab. It was grown outside the womb up to day 14, scientists said. This is the first complete embryo model that imitates all key structures of an early embryo, researchers said. The upcoming special session of Parliament will begin in the old premises on September 18th and shift to new Parliament building on September 19th, as per ANI. The session will have 5 sittings, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahalad Joshi had said. Reportedly, the government could introduce legislation on one nation, one election in the session, amongst various others speculated. Japan launched the slim, smart lander for investigating Moon, nicknamed Moon Sniffer, on 7 September 23 on board a H-2A rocket. The mission, whose cost is pegged at around $100 million, is expected to reach the Moon by February. Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency JAXA said the rocket took off from Tanegashima Space Center. Japan aims to become the 5th nation to land on Moon after India. NASA said that its oxygen generating experiment aboard the Perseverance rover has successfully completed its mission. The device, called as MOXIE Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, generated oxygen for the 16th and the final time, it said. Demonstration successfully tested converting Martian carbon dioxide into oxygen, which could help the future way in human missions to the Mars, NASA tweeted. South African captain Themba Bavuma on Thursday became the 13th cricketer to carry the bat in ODI cricket history. In cricket, the term carry the bat refers to a situation when an opening batter remains not out while the other 10 players in the team have all been dismissed in an innings. There have been 13 instances of carrying bat in ODI, 56 in Tests and 1 in T20s. The 18th G20 Leaders Summit began with much fanfare as the heads of the world leading economies gathered at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi today. Chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the 2-day summit is attended by US President Joe Biden, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, Prime Minister of Canada Justin Trudeau, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, amongst others. Several issues ranging from food and energy security to clean energy transition and climate changes are being deliberated at length by the world leading economies during this global event. G20 Summit took a decision to include the African Union into the G20 bloc for the first time. The Assam cabinet has made a recommendation to the centre to withdraw the Disturbed Area Act and the AFSPA from the entire state, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said on Friday this week. The recommendation comes days after Sarma met Union Home Minister Amit Shah in New Delhi. Sarma had said his government would take further steps based on suggestions of the Home Ministry. And now for the segment where we see the events that unfolded itself this week back in history. 3rd September 1976. Viking's second Mars landing. After a nearly year-long journey, NASA's robotic spacecraft Viking 2 landed on Mars this day in 1976 and began relaying information about the planet's atmosphere and soil, as well as color photographs of the rocky surface. 4th September 1781, Los Angeles founded. On this day, in 1781, Spanish settlers laid claim to what became Los Angeles, now the second most populous US city and the home to Hollywood, whose name is synonymous with the American motion picture industry. 5th September 2001, evidence provided for black hole theory. At a scientific conference in Washington, D.C., this day in 2001, scientists described an observation of energy flares that provided strong evidence of the theorized black hole at the center of Milky Way galaxy. 6 September 1901, US President William McKinley fatally shot. Republican William McKinley, the 25th President of the United States from 1897 to 1901, was shot this day in 1901 by Leon Clausewitz, an anarchist, at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, and died 8 days later. 7 September 1191, Battle of Ursuf. On this day in 1191, Muslim army of Saladin attacked the Crusaders of Richard I the Lionheart at the Battle of Ursuf, and through Richard successfully counterattacked in the evening, his march to Jerusalem was delayed. 8 September 1429, Paris attacked by Joan of Arc. On this day in 1429, French heroine Joan of Arc, a peasant girl who believed she was acting under divine guidance, attempted to oust the Duke of Burgundy and take Paris for a newly crowned King Charles VII. 9 September 1976, Death of Mao. Marxist revolutionary Mao Zedong, who died this day in 1976, emerged as an undisputed Chinese Communist Party leader following the Long March from 1934 to 1935 and dominated China in the period after the communist takeover in 1949.
Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.